say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Wake up every day and say your affirmations. Go. Happiness and kindness is a choice. Wake up.
Okay. We are posted.
All right, all right.
Hold on. I'm not coming up. Let me go back. Because I want to make sure I put. Yeah, there we go. Done with that. We got a couple people in the room right now. I hope the music is not too loud in the background. That
No,
you
no,
all
it's
can
good.
hear me. Okay, great. This is Things That People Don't Want to Talk About, brought to you by Me, God Level. I am a mother, I'm a nurse, I'm an entrepreneur, I have this podcast. I'm a sister, I'm an aunt, I'm a friend, I am everything good. John, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
John Skywalker, the Sly Talker here, lyricist, spoken word artist, martial artist, personal trainer, lover of life, student of psychology, and I'm a father who has 4 albums circulating on all major streaming platforms. My latest one is The Law of Affirmations. That's what that is back there. Look up John Skywalker, and you will find all my albums there. Positive Conscious Hip Hop. Salute to you all.
Salute. King Newborn, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Peace, peace, peace. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I am King Newborn. You can follow me on all social media platforms at Newborn Everything. And as always, I am of service. Peace.
I say.
That will never change. I was about to call you Dr. Now
Let it flow. Just let it flow.
Dr. Sabah Diamond. You want to go ahead and represent yourself?
I am Sabah Diamond Demir, master teacher of the Kemetic spiritual system at Karash Unity Center of African Spiritual Science. Also, master level life coach, high ticket life coach, business owner and we just launched the Abode of Osar Institute of Personal Excellence, where you can actually, you just look out for the courses that are coming. So these courses will take you from the level where you are all the way to the level where you aspire to be in almost no time, giving you all the secrets and shortcuts to it. All right. So, and as always, I am also of service. Ashe.
All right. We have several guests here today who will be I'm sorry. I'm tongue-tied today. Who will be representing themselves? We're going to start with Mike. Mike, the floor is yours, honey.
What's going on? My name is Mike Lee, and I represent a company called Focus on Community. And you're going to hear a lot about us today. We are a Black-owned life insurance collaborative, and what makes us very, very different than any other company in the country is we focus on educating the Black community on the fact that they're not for-profit life insurance companies. Not for profit life insurance companies. We'll talk about it in a second. I look forward to talking to you guys.
All right, next up we have Dr. J.
Greetings, I'm Dr. Jamil Harrell Sims, affectionately known as Dr. J. I am a clinical herbalist, professor of interdisciplinary studies. I was the savior of our youth as a probation officer, retired, and I just love, and recently a doula. And so I just love my people, and that's what I'm about.
All right, thank you. Jason, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Yes. My name is Jason Hamilton, also known as Brother Nine in our community. I'm a licensed realtor and a licensed life insurance agent, but really I say a co-writer or underwriter for the different companies that we work with. I also own a marketing company, Multimedia Marketing Group, which leads me into sales and publishing, which I publish my own book, The Building Blocks of Character. So I'll give you the link to find that out later. But you can go to thebuildingblocks.ink and to see the books that are going out right now.
You can put that information on our group page so that everyone can have access to it. We are all about promoting Black businesses over here for free. So if you know someone that has a business, send them over. We will definitely give them the platform to promote their business for free.
I
I'm
say.
sorry, Miss Bates, you want to go ahead and represent yourself?
Good evening and blessings to each and every one of you. I am a unique, unrepeatable expression of the divine, as are each of every one of you. And I am grateful to be here this evening. I am also here representing Focus on Community. I have, many other things that I do in the earth that I express myself as, but tonight we're focused on community.
I like your
I
energy,
say.
Mrs. Bates.
Isn't she beautiful?
And she had a beautiful smile. How do you know her,
Mhm.
Diami?
No, it's Jamil
Jamil?
Harrell Sims. That's
No, I'm talking about Miss Bates. Her energy. I'm picking up
Yeah,
her
yeah.
oh
energy.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm
yeah.
picking up
I know,
her
I know,
energy.
I
That
know,
But
I
smile.
know her.
I love it.
yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah. She is
Okay.
I love you all
radiant.
too. Thank you.
Before we get started, at the beginning of our show, we always like to promote a business. Sabah, Diami, you want to go ahead and introduce Miss Dr. J?
Yes, yes. In our spotlight today for our business promotion, we have someone who's very special to me because I know her work here in our community. I know who she is, how impactful she is. She has been, how impactful she is. She's a go-getter. She is she's making sure like you can't call her an imposter. When she sets it up, when she's doing what she's doing, she has initiated into being who she is, and she is someone very near and dear to me as well. And man, so much to say. She's a professor, a researcher, clinical herbalist, doula, holistic life coach, um, and is owner of the Harrell Sims Holistic Health Practitioner LLC. And she's going to tell you more about that and what that business is. And she has a whole list of things, and we'll spend up 30 minutes going through her, going over her bio. But she is a magnificent person. But without any further ado, I'll give her the room to speak and let us know who she is herself. Welcome, Dr. Jamel Harrell Sims.
Welcome.
Thank you, Master Teacher. I took it.
Speak.
For anybody that hasn't taken his classes, please do. Please do,
Ah,
because he has definitely poured into me. So yes, I was born an advocate for our people. That's the best way I can put it. I was born that way. I've always been very much aware of who we are and what our purpose is on the planet. And one thing about all of us is we're born with a purpose. And once you find out what that purpose is, that purpose may change. As you change, as you grow, it'll change. And so just a little bit about how I got to the point where I am. I've always been about the Black family. I come from my parents will be married 70 years next year. And
wow.
so I come from a really strong Black family. And so I'm the protector of our family, which is our institution. It's based on that. Our wealth is based on our family. So at 20 years old, I was an investigator for several attorneys. I want to be a criminal defense attorney because I saw a lot of inequities in the criminal justice system. And then, as purpose would have it, I ended up having a situation where I actually saw it up close and personal. And so I got into the court system to help us. And so I'm proud to say I did 17 years. And out of 17 years, I have 30 young men and women who, instead of going to prison, they went to college.
I say.
So they didn't I did what I had to do to try to help. And that's what I did. And then throughout my years, I witnessed the injustice of our people in the healthcare system. and was introduced to the herbs. And so all my life I've kind of known about the herbs, but your life as you change and grow, you have different purposes. When you complete one task, you have to understand the assignment. So when you complete one assignment, there's always another one waiting for you. So I've gone through several assignments. I wanted to be a psychologist. I did that. And then I ended up being a professor. I did that. But one thing that I noticed, and I'm sure that the other guests on here will definitely agree, is health-wise, we are not living to our potential. And sometimes it's not our fault, but it's the foods we eat, it's the stress level and the socioeconomic trauma, the socio-historical trauma, all the things that we're exposed to that really wreak havoc on our bodies. And we're too trusting with this system and what they tell you is good for you, and that standard American diet. That's why it's sad. And so we're running around here and we're sick and we're trusting people who don't love us because we don't really love ourselves the way we should. We are not in balance. We have to balance ourselves, with nature and how the Creator created us to be balanced. So a lot of us are imbalanced and we're putting things that really don't matter first. We want to chase the bag. We want to, look a certain way. We want to pretend that we've got this life, just like, on social media. Everybody wants to look like they have it going on, but everybody is sick. You might be beautiful on the outside, but your casket sharp on the inside.
Mm-hmm.
And so
Gotcha.
So I really decided to dig as a scientist. I started digging more and more into, phytochemistry and the herbs. And it came a point where when we had this great experiment that I was seeing the results of that great experiment. Y'all know what I'm talking about. And so I started going into my little lab and started doing what I needed to do, and decided at this point, I was missing some things. So I'm going to give some credit to Diamond because what I was missing, he gave me. I sat on him for a year. And so that was what was missing. So I went on and I was trying to do this, because I believe in group economics, but the calling that I felt was you have to step out and do this by yourself. So I went into private practice. I'm located in Upland. I noticed that I live in San Gabriel Mountains, but the Inland Empire, I'm right on LA County, San Bernardino County. And there's no spaces for us that we can walk in and say, I belong here or I feel safe here. So I opened J. Harrell Sims Holistic Health Practitioner. I started in Rancho Cucamonga. I outgrew that space. I wasn't big enough for what I needed to do. And I'm in Upland. And when you walk in, you see the divine king and queen on the wall as soon as you open the door.
And that's California, by the way.
Yes, California. Upland,
yes.
I'm sorry, Upland, California. We in SoCal. We in Cali.
I say.
And so people come to me for different things. I serve everyone, but in particular, it's us and a lot of hypertension, cardiovascular issues. I've had people come through with, stage 1 and 2 cancer, women's issues, a lot of stress, anxiety, depression, so many different, diabetes, prediabetes, so many different health issues that really could be solved, not by pharmaceuticals. Yes, pharmaceuticals work, but pharmaceuticals have side effects that create other problems. That in about 2 or 3 years, if you took this, and this, please call the law offices of James Sokoloff or whoever. And so the medicine is put in the earth. And I'm clinical. So that means that there are different types of herbalists. That means that I look at the science. I look at your whole body. You don't come here and, just take this herb. No, you're doing a full 18-page intake. I'm running some tests on you. I'm doing blood analysis. So whatever your doctor said, I'm going to run it and see if that's what he said, or if there's something he didn't tell you. And I don't have I have some generals, like some people come to me for CMOS or maybe they want something, but I actually create my tinctures and teas based on what your body needs. So it's very personal, and there's a relationship between me and my client. And I respect their privacy. I don't, whatever happens there stays there, but it's a relationship, and I coach and I help support, because what happens? We say we want to, it's the beginning of the year, right? We say, oh, I'm going to go to the gym and work out. And in January, the gym is packed, and by March, it's empty. So I hold you accountable and give you that support. And if you need mental health, I've got, PsyDs for that. I have a small network. So if you need something that is beyond what I can do, I know and trust the person I'm sending you to. So that's what I do. And I even provide, I call it hip hop therapy. I have a small studio also in my suite. So, our youth, when they have all this stress and anxiety and they're writing down those lyrics, we say, okay, well, let's find out why you feel this way and what happened. Okay, now we're going to put it to a beat, and so it helped them with that creativity. So there's different things that I offer. Ionic foot baths, I'll fully detox you. I offer everything that I can, because my thing is, if you're healthy, it's easier for you to get a policy, something that we should all have, life insurance. You will not be able to get that to protect your family if you are not healthy. And I don't know about you all, but I want to live as long can be. And I want quality. I want to be healthy inside and out. And that's what I partner for.
Ashe. Let me ask you, Dr. Sims, Dr. J, is there any way you can accept clients or patients outside of California?
Yes, I have clients in Atlanta, Mississippi, Houston, the Bay Area, Detroit. I do have clients outside. I do remote and in person.
Okay. All right. And what's the best way for everybody to reach you?
You can, I'm on Instagram, Yaz Herbalist, on Instagram, TikTok, Yaz Herbalist, YAHS Herbalist. Also, you can send me an email at drjholistic@gmail.com, or you can call 909-681-0025. My website is jharrellsims.com. That's JHARRELLSIMS.com. And it tells you everything you need to know on the website.
All right. Give me that email one more time. I only type like 10 words.
Like this.
I want the website. I want that website.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. What's the website?
The website is JHARRELL, S as in Sam, I, M as in Mary, S as in Sam.com.
So is there also JH?
Yeah, JH, J Harrell, JHARRELLSIMS.com.
Okay.
Found it.
Gotcha.
And the email is drjholistic@gmail.
Gotcha.
God level. Can you send that website to me?
I'm already posting it on the page.
Oh, me too.
Is that what you were getting ready to do?
That's what I did.
No, I was asking, can you send it to my text?
Just send it to. Okay, yeah.
I appreciate it, Queen.
And it's been posted on the Facebook page. Yeah. So I've been looking for a doctor.
Now I'm a PhD. I'm not an MD. I'm gonna make that clear. I'm a PhD.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
So
you can still help.
That's
Yes.
still a doctor.
They're still a
Yes,
doctor.
because they learn from us. We do the research, they learn from us. So yes,
Hmm.
I just make sure that, let you know I don't diagnose, prescribe medications, nor
Right, right.
none of that.
Yeah, I don't want any medications. I want to be as natural as possible. I'm a nurse and I've worked the floor and I have given out a half cup of pills. It's always these 2 pills is for this particular disease and these 2 pills over here is
You know what that means?
I already know what that means.
That would be the gong on the gong show.
Yeah, that like yeah.
I love it.
But you know where I'm getting at. My brother is always he's making sure that I don't get myself in trouble because
Yeah,
I
yeah,
still
you be
work
on it.
as a nurse. So yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm gonna leave that alone. Now I don't even know what to say now because I was about to be on a roll.
Ashe.
But yeah, I did post your website to the page.
Thank you.
Yes.
First things first, I just want to say thank you for taking our time on your Sunday evening to join us here on our podcast. We are growing. We are for the community. A lot of things that we talk about here is for our community. Mental health is our core base. Next month, we will be talking about Black history. And just the fact that you are in the medical field, or I'm sorry, connected to the medical field is great because we don't have too many people in that field that we trust that we can go to get the help that we need. And when we go outside of that, we are quickly given a pill,
Yes.
Instead of looking at the overall picture. So I want to thank you
Mhm.
for that.
This is our ancient wisdom, our ancient, we're talking about Imhotep here. It goes way
Yes.
beyond Hippocrates.
Oh yeah. Wait. Talk about thousands of years before
Yes.
Hippocrates.
Yes.
Yes. Absolutely. Well,
Brother John, do you have any questions for Dr. J?
No questions.
King Newborn, do you have any questions for Dr. J?
I do.
I knew it. Go
Would you
ahead.
consider coming back for the month of February?
I sure would.
I'll say.
Any connection to the community, I just want you all to know I'm here. I'm here to advocate for us. If you ever come and see me, it's about us. When you walk in the door.
Is she close to you, Diamond?
Huh?
Is she close to you?
Well, I'm in Long Beach, and so there's all of Los Angeles in between her and I.
Yes.
But it's still not too far away. She's accessible.
Okay, she's because we supposed to come out your way. It would be
Yeah.
nice to meet her.
Yeah. Well, we can arrange that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can arrange that.
Come through, Queen, King, come through.
Absolutely.
Peace. It's real.
Absolutely. Do any one of our other panelists for today, for this evening, John, Mike, and Bates, do y'all have any questions for Dr. J? I don't want to leave y'all out because y'all are special guests for tonight.
Well, first of all, congratulations on everything that you have accomplished up until this point. And
Thank you.
And can you explain what a doula is? I literally just saw that language over the weekend. So can you please explain what a doula is?
Okay,
I
so
love it. I love it.
great question. A lot of us don't know what a doula is, but we do. The doula is that person that was there when a mother is giving birth, and the person is telling them to breathe and to calm down, and they're advocating for them, and they're making sure that they get what they need, and they're holding the family down. They're helping the husband or partner be a part of the birth experience. Making sure that the mother is getting their doctor's appointments, but really the support during birth and after birth. So as a doula, if I have a client that's giving birth, I don't leave her side at all until 2 hours after the child is born and that baby has latched on. So I'm there. I'm not going anywhere, even if it takes 48 hours straight. I'm there to advocate and make sure that the mother's wishes is called a birth plan, that the mother and father's wishes for that birth are carried out so that they can have a beautiful birth experience. And not just the experience. Statistics show that our women have died 3 times more during childbirth than anyone else. Our children are stillborn or born with difficulties 3 times more than everyone else. Why? Because we're not listened to when we say we're in pain, we say something is wrong, we're not listened to. We're not cared for like we should. So having a doula increases your chance of a good birth, a wonderful experience. And they found that C-sections have gone down considerably when there's a doula involved.
Thank goodness. Thank goodness.
What a blessing. Thank you.
Yes.
You're welcome.
So
I want to talk more about that, but I know my brother going to give me that.
I see.
Dr. J, isn't a doula almost synonymous with a midwife?
No, the midwife actually is, they're 2 different things. The midwife is the one who actually pulls the baby out. They actually attend to the birth.
Okay.
She's delivering the baby. If you sit back and look at our history, there were always 2 women in the room. There was the midwife and there was a doula, but they weren't called doulas. When I had my children, they were called a birth or Lamaze partner. They weren't called doulas. And so you have one that's boiling the water and, and teaching her how to breathe and making sure everything's okay. And you have the other one that's actually tending to the birth. So the 2 are a great team.
I say.
Yes.
Yeah, I asked that question because at times it gets confused. So.
Well, the midwife is medically trained. She has a nursing background most of the time. So the doula, we have the information and the education, but we're not licensed or we're not medically trained like the midwife is. She cuts the placenta.
Sort of like saying a PhD versus a PH.
Okay.
I can't with you right now. I have a question. I've been seeing, I guess I'm gonna call it a trend of women giving birth and allowing the placenta to fall away off on its own.
Well, there's a placenta encapsulation. That's something that I plan on learning. There's a lot of wonderful stuff in that placenta.
Yes. So it, don't cut it. Allow for it to naturally fall off. Yeah.
And then it can be dried and placed in capsules and taken by the mother. Yeah. There's a lot of vitamins and
a lot of nutrients. Exactly.
Nutrients in that placenta.
You would see a lot of animals in nature would eat the placenta when they're done giving birth. They would ingest their placenta, and that's because of it puts nutrients back in their bodies that was expended during the childbirthing process. So I'm not saying that y'all go and eating up placentas. I'm just saying that's what happens in nature.
I've seen people do that. It's a couple of videos circulating out there where a lady actually fried hers. I was just like, okay, that's a bit.
No, we're not trying to do
that.
No,
it is not necessary. Not necessary.
So okay.
Does anyone else? Go ahead. I was just gonna say I highly recommend that you all reach out and get in touch with Dr. J. She, like I say, she's phenomenal. She's got her whole thing set up. I am just in awe, and I'm trying to grow up to be just like her. I'm telling you. See, when she said she was doing this, she moved full steam ahead until it was done. And here she is. So please reach out to her. And I know we can all use a holistic practitioner in our lives.
Absolutely.
Please understand that you can.
Most definitely.
So I say, thank you so much, beloved.
Thank you. Your website is posted on the page, and it's also on my personal page as well. So yeah, you're there. Contact this lady, you all. And thank you for coming. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me. I'm just going to sit here and just,
enjoy the show. Yes.
I'm going to enjoy this energy. Yes, because I'm feeling it already. I'm feeling
don't leave. All right, I guess we can go ahead into our second part now. Thank you so much. Last week we talked about death. This week we're going to be discussing life insurance. We have 3 different people on our panel this evening that will be talking to you all about life insurance. If you have questions concerning the life insurance, John, post the number. Please call us. We have 3 experts on here that will be able to answer all of your questions. 832-318-6966. We have Jason, Mike, and Mrs. Bates. Who would like to go first? Mike, what is life insurance?
What is life insurance? What a question.
Yeah.
You know what? There are several proper answers to that, but what I will tell our people is life insurance is the easiest way to pass on generational wealth. Life insurance is the easiest and cheapest way to pass on generational wealth. What you're doing is you're buying money for your family. And this is something that's going to happen. You're going to get up out of here, sis, bro. You're going to die, right? But there's a proper way to do it. There's a right way and a wrong way to do many things. The wrong way is to leave a liability to your family. GoFundMe, fish fry. I like the fish fry, but not for someone's death, right? You know, what you want to do is you want to leave a legacy for your family. And one of the biggest myths that we find is life insurance is a lot more affordable than you think it is. It's a lot more affordable than you think it is. And one thing that I also want to mention is life insurance companies, there's a such thing as not-for-profit life insurance companies. I see your face. I see your face.
Yeah.
You're like, huh?
Yeah.
Not-for-profit life
Go ahead.
insurance?
Yeah.
Shall I
Explain
continue?
it. Go ahead.
I got you. All right. So this is how this thing works, okay? My buddy, one of my best friends, Chad, he's the president and CEO of Focused on Community. And we are a Black-owned life insurance collaborative. And our focus is educating the Black community on the fact that there are not-for-profit life insurance companies out there, okay? They're called fraternal benefit societies, and they are 501c8 entities. We all know about the 501c3, right? The churches, the schools, the charitable organizations and things like that. But what we don't know as a community is that 3 is a designation. There's actually 29 different 501c categories that people set up their businesses in so they don't have to pay federal income taxes, okay? Let me bring it back. Let me bring it back to the basics, okay? We'll start with a 501c1. If I was driving down the street right now and I wanted to open up a checking account, I can open it up with a for-profit bank like Bank of America, Wells Fargo, SunTrust, the banks that you see driving down the street.
Mm-hmm.
Or I can open it up with a not-for-profit bank. We call them federal credit unions. People don't know. Big Mama had it right when she said, look, if you want to buy a house, if you want to buy a car, establish a good relationship with one of those federal credit unions. She didn't know it's because they're 501c1 entities. And because they're not for profit, they spend their money differently, completely differently. Bank of America, Wells Fargo, SunTrust, go buy their stuff in the stock market right now. You can. You're not buying Navy Fed on the stock market because they spend their money differently. They have programs set up specifically for their members that they can take advantage of. The lowest fees, the highest interest rates, the new home buyers seminar, simply by being a member. It doesn't matter if somebody has $50 in their account or $50,000 in their account. They're Navy Fed. Shout out to Navy Fed, right? The exact same thing is happening in the life insurance industry, and people don't know it. 99% of Black people don't know that there's a such thing as not-for-profit life insurance company. People don't know what they don't know, and you can't Google something you've never heard of, right? So here's how it works in life insurance. Just like in the banking industry, you can get an insurance policy with a for-profit company like State Farm, MetLife, New York Life, whomever. It's thousands and thousands of for-profit insurance companies. Or you can get it with a not-for-profit life insurance company called fraternal benefit societies. And not only are they going to be cheaper because they don't have the overhead of can I get a hot tub and discount double check and paying Chris Paul's kids and James Harden's kids and Aaron Rodgers' kids. They ain't paying my kids. I know you, I can tell you that, right? It costs tens of millions of dollars for them to help you remember their slogans, like a good neighbor. Are you in good hands? Tens of millions of dollars, and that expense goes to the consumer. They ain't paying for it, right? They ain't got time for that. However, my people, right, friends and family, you can have a life insurance policy with a not-for-profit life insurance company. And not only is it going to be cheaper, but it's also going to come with programs. And these ain't rinky-dink programs. This ain't low fees, high interest rates. They give away over 300 scholarships every single year. And they're $10,000 each. This ain't Nike, you get two, right? The boys and the girls. Over 300 scholarships every single year. And it's not the Nike scholarship where every kid who likes Nikes can apply for it. It's specific to these fraternal benefit societies. So in a lot of years, 1 out of 9, 1 out of 10 kids that applies for these scholarships actually gets them, right? They have community grants, care grants, community grants, fund family grants where you can apply just by simply having a policy. It don't matter if it's $50 a month or $50,000 a month. Simply having a policy, us members in the community that's out here in these streets, Doc, you out here in these streets, we can have a policy and we can actually get grant money to do the book bag drive, the coat drive, feeding the homeless. I love helping the homeless community here in the DC area because it's lit, right? You know, we can do something for the kids that ain't got the elderly. We can do all types of things, but not every dollar that we put into the community has to come out of our back pocket. We can leverage, right? These companies have been around for over 100 years, some of them over 140 years, and they're worth billions of dollars with a B, billions of dollars. But they don't advertise. They're not going to get on the television and say, hey, y'all, here's how you access all of our money. They spread through word of mouth. That's where people like Sinitra comes in, Miss Bates, myself. We focus on making sure people are aware that this is even a thing. So that's what life insurance is. You got two types. You got for-profit life insurance. You got not-for-profit life insurance. All life insurance is good. You're buying money for your family. Tap in. Stop playing, right? And I'm not here to tell people to buy life insurance, just like I ain't here to tell you to brush your teeth. I ain't here to tell you to change your oil on time. But I am here to tell you is you got options, right? And it don't matter if you got pre-existing conditions. It don't matter if you've been denied before. It don't matter if you got the sugar. A lot of us got the sugar. It don't matter. None of that stuff matters, but you need to know that you got options.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that. Do y'all have any questions before we I got questions. How much is the average policy?
The average policy. So the average policy is $50 to $100 a month.
Okay.
And here's the thing. It's all based on your personal preference. Some pay less, some pay more. You choose the cost and the coverage amount. Like I'll give you real life examples of people of life insurance policies that people can get for $50 to $100 a month. Okay. You take a 30-year-old male who has a family, okay? He can get a term insurance policy up to $500,000 for $50 to $100 a month.
Okay.
So $500,000. You take the 40-year-old single mom, kids, all that stuff. She can get up to $400,000 worth of term insurance for $50 to $100 a month. The 50-year-old, I can keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's really, it's you take the 70-year-old male or a 70-year-old person who had cancer 3 years ago. They can get $20,000 worth of whole life insurance for $50 to $100 a month. You got options.
Term and whole life. What's the difference?
So when it comes to term insurance, and thank you for asking that question, because here's an issue that we deal with in the Black community. You got some companies that only provide one, and they say, oh, don't get that other one. You wasted your time and your money. And that's not true, right? And people don't move when they're confused. I don't know I don't know. I'm going to just leave it alone, right? So here's how it works. When it comes to term insurance, with term, you're getting as much life insurance as you can for as little amount of money as you can.
Okay.
Okay. The three main reasons why people get term is number one, if they have children under the age of 18, they want to make sure, God forbid, something happens to them, their kids are straight.
Yes.
You ain't got to worry about where you're going to stay. You ain't got to worry about your next meal. It's
Mhm.
good. Okay.
Okay.
Number two is what's called mortgage protection. Okay. When people buy a home, what happens a lot of the times is when we pass away, that house goes back to the bank.
Mm.
Why? Because you can't just drop a mortgage in somebody's lap and expect for them to just be able to pick it up.
True.
Drop a $1,500 mortgage in your sister's lap. Hey, sis, it goes back to the bank a lot of the time. So mortgage protection is to make sure when you buy that house or if you own a home, you can protect it, right? It's a $300,000 mortgage. You can get $300,000 worth of insurance for 30 years or whatever it is, you know, or you can get half of that, $150,000. So half of the mortgage is taken care of. Or you can get 24 months. It's $2,000 a month. Okay, well, let me get $48,000 worth of insurance. So at least when my family leaves this funeral, they don't have to go home and start making financial decisions right away, right? They got time.
Right.
Buy yourself some time, you know? So it's different structure. That's the second thing, mortgage protection. And then the third thing is income replacement. If I pass away, my income passes away. That is a significant hit on the people that depend on my income. It's significant. Y'all remember the pandemic when people lost time from work?
Yeah.
And we was like, bruh, like, what we gonna do? Like, I gotta figure it out. Well, that happens all the time when people pass away.
Yeah.
Right? So some people say, all right, I make $50,000 a year. I make $60,000 a year. Let me get 2 years, 3 years, 4 years of my income taken care of in insurance so that if anything happens to me, at least my family got this lifestyle for the next 2-3 years, at
Right.
least, you know? So that's term insurance. Now, those are pros.
Okay.
The con that comes with term insurance is term is short for terminate, meaning it is going to expire at some point. So if you got a 20-year term policy and you live for 21 years, that policy is not going to pay out because you would have outlived that term. It's kind of like auto insurance, where if I go 20 years and I never get into an accident, they're going to say, great job being a good driver. But if something would have happened, we would have had your back.
Right. Okay.
Term insurance is the same way. Great job living, you know, great job being healthy. But if something would have happened, we would have had your back. Term.
Okay.
That's term. On the permanent side, that is exactly like it sounds. It's permanent. Okay. Now you got whole life, you got universal life, different names and things. You know, whole life is term insurance for people, or I'm sorry, permanent insurance for people that might have had some health issues. Universal life is permanent insurance for people that have not had any health issues. If I'm 50 years old and I've never had a heart attack, my homeboy is 50 years old and he had one 3 years ago. We both get insurance, but I'm not trying to pay the same price as him.
Okay.
I'm not, we ain't doing that, right? Okay. So on the permanent side, that is exactly like it sounds. Number two, the price is not going to go up on you. And the coverage amount is not going to go down on you. So you're going to lock in a price. We need to get our kids and our grandkids permanent life insurance now, because the way life insurance works is the younger you are, the cheaper it is. The older you are, the more expensive it is. The healthier you are, the cheaper it is. The less healthy you are, the more expensive it is. The less you want, the cheaper it is. The more you want, the more. It's algorithms, right?
Okay.
So we can get our 2-year-old. You know what I'm saying? I got a 4-year-old and I got an 8. They got more insurance than most people. I promise you, because it's cheap. Okay. So it lasts forever. The price is never going to go up on you. And then the third thing about the permanent policies, it gets what's called cash value. Okay. And the way cash value works, it's like equity in your policy. So for every dollar that you put into it, the life insurance company is going to set to the side a percentage of that money, maybe 45 cents, 55 cents, 65 cents. So fast forward 15 years, 20 years down the line, you might have 10, 15 grand just sitting in a little piggy bank and you can access it, you know, and you ain't got to be in a rush to pay it back because they're going to subtract it from the death benefit. Right. So,
Okay.
yes. So hot water heater go out, it's all good. You got money. Them kids act up, you can wag your finger all you want, but they're straight. You got extra money sat to the side to make sure that things are there. Now, the thing that people don't necessarily love about the permanent insurance is simply that it's more expensive than the term. sometimes 2 to 3 times more expensive, but it's also guaranteed to pay out. It's different strokes for different folks. You see what I'm saying? So it's just a matter of preference. It's a matter of where am I in my life? What do I actually need? And you just need to sit down with somebody that knows what they're talking about. Somebody that's non-biased. You don't want somebody leaning on one side like, bro, you should really get this, bro. It might be tough in these streets, and that term policy just makes sense right now. And when it makes sense, I can upgrade it.
I have a question. I'm sorry. We do this when we have a question. Can you go from term to whole policy permanent?
Yes, you can.
So you can switch. You start off with term, and then a couple years later, you know what? I want something more permanent.
Yeah, it's called a conversion. So you can convert it. So let's just say, for example, for easy numbers, you got $100,000 worth of insurance, term insurance.
Mm-hmm.
If you wanted anything $100,000 or less, they're not going to ask you any medical questions when you convert it. They're going to be like, you good. But let's say you want $101,000. They're going to be like, hold on, what happened? What happened? Let me see that medic. What you been? What's going on?
Okay.
And speaking on that, by the way, we don't do medical exams. Ain't nobody coming in taking no blood, no urine. This is called simplified issued life insurance, meaning the only things the life insurance companies know is what they already know in your medical records. So don't be coming in here trying to lie like I ain't never had that. They know. But if you've never had anything, the last person that you want to find out that you got something is the life insurance company when they come and take blood and urine. Hold on, by the way, you got something, because they tell everybody. It goes on your medical records, right? So that's how that works.
Okay. Ooh, he broke it down. John, any questions? No.
I have a question. I like the idea of I had never heard of nonprofit. So how does it work when you are older?
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely when you're 20 years old, best time to get it because it's much cheaper. But when you're older, what is the difference between, let's say, Mutual of Omaha and one of these nonprofit insurance companies?
So Mutual of Omaha is a great example because they're not on the TV talking about Mutual of Omaha. So their price is not going to be as high as a State Farm or a MetLife or a New York Life or whatever the case may be. Okay, because that's just not their swag. When it comes to insurance like that, it's kind of like gas stations. Like you can't go down the street and get gas for $3 a gallon and then down the other street get it for $1.50. It's going to be $2.94, $3.02, right around the same. So the not-for-profit life insurance companies, they're going to be a little bit cheaper, right? But let's not ignore the difference between price and value. Okay, the price of something might be $80 a month for it, but the value that a not-for-profit life insurance company gives you is way more than that. Name another program where you get an insurance policy and you can get a $2,000 grant every quarter. Or you can get your will written for free. I didn't get to mention that. Will written, power of attorney, healthcare directives, these things they won't get a chance to get done for free. Discount clubs for free. So the value is a lot higher with a fraternal benefit society than it is with a traditional life insurance company.
And it sounds like you're building it. I like the
and that's where I come in.
Go
ahead, Sanitra. Get him.
Go ahead, Ms. Bates.
No, go ahead and finish what you were saying. But I want to piggyback on what he just said. No.
Go for it.
Let me tell you what I am. I am a passionate advocate for my community. I am the founder of A to the Third Inc., which is a 501c3. So when I saw this opportunity, my head was spinning. Because if you know anything about nonprofit organizations, like our main focus is our mission and funding that mission. And depending on, because I've used my personal resources as everybody else have, but to know that you can actually scale and do more of what you love to do, and because you're already doing something that you need to do anyway. Two very important things has happened to me. I had one of the other policies just kind of laying on my table. I filled out, I never sent it back in. I just had them like, oh, do I want to do this? Do I want to do that? And I just held it there. And I know sometimes when I hold on to it, something else is brewing. 2 years ago, almost to the date, my mother transitioned. She had all of her business. She took care of everything herself. When it came down to the time when she was powering down, she mentioned that her policy had lapsed. And we said, okay, well, tell us more. She didn't get a chance to tell us more. But she had money in her account. I had no idea what was going on. So by the time it was all over, having found Focused on Community, having gone through the program and actually learning the information, understanding that she had options, but because whoever it was that told her to get this insurance didn't give her the breadth of options. Her policy lapsing could have been covered completely by a loan had she just gotten the proper insurance. She had thousands of dollars in her account, but because at the time when she wanted to reinsure, she couldn't, because now she has a terminal illness and she can't get coverage. So that's it's personal for me. When I found Focused on Community, it was real personal, both on the community side, being an advocate for my community, but also getting this information out to my community. It doesn't have to happen to everyone else. Don't let your loved ones feel like they don't have options, because they do. And so, as we say, Focus on Community, listen, you do with the information what you will. It is our mission to make sure that you get the information, that you have it, and that you realize that you do have options. And I'll say this one last thing, and I'm going to go off camera because Mike Lee killed it. Thank you so much for being, oh my God, I'm so excited for him. I want to just say shout out to Chadwick Ray, who is the visionary, and Mike Lee, he is his right arm and leg, and they are like very just partners in this. And we have 40 million people in the United States. We got to get this information out to, so we've got to do it. And I'm grateful for this platform to get it done. Absolutely. So of course the grants were a great pull for me. Again, I had this other policy kind of sitting on the side. When I found this opportunity and realized that all I had to do was become a member, get some life insurance, listen to you, life insurance, not death insurance, life insurance that has a death benefit, understanding, perception change, life insurance. And so I got that. And within like maybe a couple of weeks, I applied for a grant, got the grant, got the pay card in the mail this week, went ahead and purchased the items for my workshop that I'm having in May, getting ready to file for another grant so I can do a multi-state toy drive through my nonprofit. And I just happen to have one. You don't have to. You just be an individual. Can you imagine the scale? The scale, if every individual got a policy, applied for a grant, and started funneling this money out into our communities, that blessed my soul. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here.
I have a question. When you said grant, what can you use this grant for? Just about anything? Your business, all of that?
Yeah, so the grant money is pretty simple. It's community grant, something that the general community can come out and access. Okay. You have to do it through a nonprofit organization.
Okay.
Which we all know now. We got nonprofits. When push comes to shove, go down to the local YMCA or the church or the school. You know, but it has to be something that the general community can access. The thing that I love about these grants is it's not like traditional grant writing where there's a bunch of red tape, right? We ain't
Right.
got to come up with this elaborate thesis. The grant process takes 5 to 10 minutes because these companies are required to do this to maintain their not-for-profit status. It's just we don't know about it. They've been doing this for 140 years, and every time I say it, it frustrates me because nobody's in a rush to tell us about this stuff. Focused on Community is in a rush. We're in a rush. We hire people all across the country every single day, working part-time, 5 hours a week, 2 hours a week, 10 hours a week, getting this message out into the Black community and minority communities. We have a Spanish department, by the way, where we're just trying to make sure we have these options and people know about it.
I'm sorry, I'm speechless.
It's also true.
I was too.
Because I have insurance, and I forget who it's with, but I see I'm going to be making a phone call in the morning to switch over.
Listen, and do it like this, sis, because we're gonna treat you. I'm gonna treat you just like you, my sis. I ain't gonna let nobody get over on you. So call me, call Sanisha. We'll give you our information.
Yes,
And
please.
I will call the insurance company with you to make sure you have exactly what you have. I do this all the time. 75% of the time when I call up to the insurance company, I ask people, what you got? Oh, I got this, I got that. All right. If you don't mind, let me be your big bro. Let me be your little bro and make sure it'll take me 5 minutes, but let me just make sure we get what we think.
Yes, I want more. I want more just in case, I have one child left here in the house. Then I have 2 other that are out doing their own thing. But my youngest is 14. Just in case something happens to me, I want to make sure that she's good. And the way that you broke it down, how you can build that life insurance, you can get that life insurance policy, the income, the mortgage protection. Yeah, why are we not taking advantage of this?
People don't know what they don't know. And you can't Google something you never heard of. Nobody out there randomly Googling benefit societies or focused on community.
Oh, wow.
The key part I got from you is that there are options.
Yeah.
And with insurance, there are so many options based on your own individuality and what your needs are and what you want to get accomplished. And I love the part that you linked the not-for-profit insurance company versus the for-profit insurance companies. And
Bro,
there's so many.
I want you to work with us. You sharp as nails. I like you, bro. Call me, please.
Yes, sir. Well, I like the fact that there are so many options available for our people, and depending on what income level you are or what your income goals are, you can accomplish them through different vehicles in this industry. And I like the fact that you highlight the fact that there are some parts that people don't even know about. People always want to talk about their net worth, but as soon as you sign your insurance policy and you sign it for $250,000, $500,000, that goes into your net worth. So you can qualify for other things in your life because your net worth is higher automatically. Automatically, it goes to your estate. So there's so many ways to build wealth, interest-free, tax-free. When I say interest-free, I mean from your taxes. But you gain interest and you gain compound on that money, while at the same time avoiding it or hiding it or sheltering it from the government.
You say
there are times you can get this money and get access to the money when you need that. So you say you have a kid that's 14.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine in 4 years when he goes to college, he knows that you have money to put that payment down for his tuition, for his apartment, for books, and that's at no interest to yourself. And you pay yourself back with interest, but there's no tax penalty for accessing that money.
He lying.
You get taxed when you dip into your 401k.
There you go.
But you don't get taxed when you dip into your life insurance.
There you go. This is why. Okay, so this is a 301 course, so I won't teach it right now. But you have 3 types of money. Okay, you got tax money, You got tax deferred money and you got tax free money. Tax money is the money that's already in the account. It's already been taxed. Tax deferred money is your 401k, 403b, TSP, IRA, right? That means, let's just say for easy numbers, I'm making $100,000 a year. If I put $10,000 into my 401k or 403b, I'm not telling the government that I make $100,000 a year. I'm telling them I make 90,000. Ignore this other 10. I want you to defer the taxes to the future. Defer it, right?
Okay.
It sounds good, right?
It sounds good.
It sounds good. However, if I'm a farmer, okay, let's say I got crop, corn, sure. Would I rather be taxed on my seed? Hey, go in the back, go grab 2 big bags of those seeds back there real quick, please. Or would I rather be taxed on my harvest? Hey, come back when I'm done getting all this money or crop. Come back and bring 4 or 5 truckloads, because now I got $1 million as opposed to $10,000 a year. Does that make sense? Tax deferred money. Then the last way is tax free money, which there's a couple ways to get tax free money. Okay, municipal bonds. You remember those savings bonds that our parents used to have that ain't worth the paper that they written on no more? I got some savings bonds, right? Tax free. Your Roth IRA, okay? The Roth IRA, okay? Which the Roth is cool, but it has a lot of the same problems that the traditional IRA has. Like, you can't take your money out early before age 59 and a half. It's also susceptible to the stock market. It's a lot of people who wanted to retire in 2002 who couldn't, because 1999, 2000, and 2001 sucked. The market was down 50%. So a lot of people who wanted to retire right after the housing crash who couldn't because of the timing. Yes, the market will come back, but the timing, right? So it's still got all that stuff. And then the last way that you get tax-free money is through life insurance. Some people call it the infinite banking system. There's all these theories out there, but life insurance, right? So we educate on stuff like that. I appreciate you mentioning, bro. Like, we educate on things like that. It's levels to this, just like everything else. There's levels to it, but life insurance is the ticket. JC Penney, y'all, not JC. Yeah, y'all remember JC Penney?
Yes.
Life insurance money. You know Rockefeller?
Yeah.
Life insurance money. I digress. I know you got a question.
Yeah, no, Facebook. We have one of our Facebook users have a question. If you have a pre-existing condition, do you have to live a certain amount of time before your insurance is payable through a non-for-profit insurance company?
So there's a couple different things. Okay, it depends on what your actual goal is. If the goal is to have, you know, some insurance that's going to pay a death benefit, let's say you have had cancer, like I said, 3 years ago. You don't need, there's no wait period for that. You know, let's say you had something, maybe you're in the midst of cancer, there might be a 2-year waiting period. It's called a graded policy. What that means is, for the first 2 years, if you do pass away, they're going to give your family every dollar that you put into it plus interest. $100 a month, you pass in 6 months, $600 plus interest. Sorry for your loss, but there was no loss financially. At that 2-year mark, if it's $10,000, $15,000, whatever it is, it becomes an entire policy. It's live. So if you pass away 2 years in 1 day, then the 10 grand pays out or whatever it is.
Wow. Yes, I'm sorry, to all of our viewers out there, if you have questions, go ahead and post them. And you can also call in 832-618-6966. We have 3 knowledgeable people on our panel tonight that will be able to answer all of your questions concerning life insurance with the nonprofit organization. I gotta switch.
And shout out to Love Sean for asking that question as well.
Oh, okay, that was Love Sean. Thank you.
Yes.
Hey, Love Sean. What are some factors to consider when purchasing life insurance? Ooh, good question, John.
Age, health, and budget. That's it.
Say it again.
Age, health, and budget. Your agent should be taking care of your age, your health, and your budget. If he's not considering all 3, that ain't it. Okay? That ain't it. It's too many. It's frustrating. There's too many agents out there that's overcharging people. Like, let's find something. Let's get their foot in the door. And by all means, help them introduce them to focus on community so we can teach them how to make some extra money to pay off the policy, you know. But those are the big three things that, one, your agent should take in consideration. Okay. The thing that you should be taking in consideration is simply your budget. You need life insurance.
Right.
No questions. You know, now if you're talking about what company, where, here's there, I would always say, and again, you know me for more than a weekend, you know, I would never say anything bad about another company or another person. But I would always say, start with a not-for-profit life insurance company and see what you can do. You know, a lot of us, we have contracts with for-profit companies as well. So I can tell you how much it costs for Mutual of Omaha too. Like, we got that, but start with a not-for-profit, because there goes the price versus value again. You know, but the age, health, and budget is the really big three things that should be considered.
We have another question. Are there fraudulent life insurance companies in the U.S.? And how can we verify the reputation, credibility of the life insurance company?
So if you would have asked me this question 40 years ago, I would have said yes and yes. Many fraudulent life insurance companies out there. Okay. To be clear, it wasn't that long ago where Prudential, right, was charging Black people 3 times more than they were charging our white counterparts for life insurance.
Who?
Prudential. I ain't gonna call nobody else out. I'm just saying it has been cleaned up. It has been cleaned up. There's something that's called AM Best. Okay, you can Google it, AM Best, and their job is to rate every life insurance company in America. They let the general consumer know if the company is credible, if they pay their claims on time, if they have a reasonable customer service department. That's where you find life insurance companies are bigger than BBB, because BBB is typically somebody complaining about their experience, where you're not having the experience with the life insurance company, you're having the experience with the agent who represents the life insurance company. So AM Best is where you want to go to figure out, is your life insurance company credible? I know the ones that we work with, they've been AM Best A-rated for over 20 years straight. You know, but that's how you figure out what's the status of the life insurance companies.
All right. That website is being posted.
Awesome.
We have to put that information out there. Do you have any more questions, John? John be over there low. He be loaded. He be loaded. Are there any strategies involved in policy writing for individual versus families? Ooh.
Yeah, there is some strategy. Again, the budget is the most important thing. If you got $150, let's look at that. You know, I'm not going to try to stretch you to $250 if that's not your budget. You know, but the strategy is you want to take care of the parents first. You know, the way life insurance works is an individual base. So I can't get like a family policy where it's me and somebody else on the same policy. We can get it at the same time and have the same deduction date, sure. But people's health are different. You know, I could be 37 and healthy or 37 and unhealthy. So the biggest strategy is getting something for the parents, because most likely you're going to go first. Okay. Then you want to get something for those kids. Stop playing. Get these kids insurance. Get them a head start. You know, because if you think about the generational implication that it has, you know, some people say, well, if everybody got life insurance, they'll stop killing Black people. I don't know that that's true, but what I will say is those families won't be struggling the way that they do. Yeah. You know,
we'll have a lot less GoFundMe pages.
We'll have a lot less GoFundMe pages. And here's the other thing. We need people that look like us to talk to us, right? We need people that look like us to talk to us about this stuff and be knowledgeable about it. Or just get it to somebody who knows, oh, you need to talk to my boy. You need to talk to my girl. Look, I'm going to give you this number. That is how, like, I get so frustrated. I'm an entrepreneur. I got several businesses, but our people, we go to networking events, but we don't necessarily have a networking lifestyle. We should always be big up in our person. Like, Doc, I got your back. I don't live in Cali. I used to, but I know one thing. We got over 1,400 people across the country that's representing FOC, and they're going to know about you. That's how we do it. That's how we do it. You know, so I think that you guys are doing such an incredible job of just being consistent and just giving people a platform where we can be transparent, where we can talk real talk to our people, because that's what we need. somebody that's not gonna come in there and sugarcoat it. Well, what you should do. No, this is how it works, bro. This is how it works. Is we need that real talk, and y'all create that platform. So without y'all, like I need you to understand the change that y'all are making. I need you to understand that people are getting onto this stuff and seeing resources that they would not have seen prior to. So we want to get y'all things, like let's not forget how this happens. We appreciate
That's
y'all.
right.
Thank you.
Brother Mike, real quick, can I ask how old you are?
37.
37.
Okay, you
I caught it in
about-
conversation.
about 13 years older than my son, but you remind me so much of my son. With the locks and everything, man. You just his whole personification and everything. So I just want to say, man, I'm just so proud of young black men like you who are standing for something already, who are already know the value of intentionally bringing good and opportunity into our community. Just morning, I was teaching a class on Ma'at, and we had gone over the difference between the declarations of innocence and the declarations of virtues. The declarations of innocence, which is that's the pretext to what they call the Ten Commandments. So thousands of years before the Ten Commandments, there was the 42 ordeals of Ma'at. So we talked about, so they start out with I have not. So it's a declaration. I'm declaring that I have not done this against my own divine self-image, right? So I haven't committed the sin, basically. That's what a sin is, when you go against your divine essence. And so we was talking about the difference between that and also the declaration of virtues. Now, being virtuous, that means you're not only refraining from committing acts of evil or disorder, but you're intentionally, through your actions, bringing good into the world. That's what the declarations of virtues is about. And I can say I can see that in you, young man. And I'm really, really proud of you. I'm just I feel good that you represent me well. You represent me well. So I really appreciate that.
I appreciate those words. It really does mean everything, because very much so, I feel like we're all running in the same direction. We just haven't met each other yet. And you are leading the charge. Like, let's just go back to the basics. Let's go back to the Mayans. When the Mayans were raising their kids, they literally would take the 3-year-old or the 4-year-old or the 5-year-old. Once they identified something that they were good at, once they identified what their purpose was, they would take that child out of the community and say, this is your contribution. This is what you do. So now you create a society full of experts and not a society full of servants. We got too many people that's sitting behind a cash register right now who can sing like Yolanda Adams, but they got to chase the bag, right? We got people that have a skill set. Like, God put us on this earth for a specific reason. And like you said before, once we figure out that reason, it makes life easier, as long as you're in pursuit of it. So I appreciate the wise words. I really do. And you leading the charge that you.
I say thank you. I also wanted to give Brother Jason a chance to respond to the question, if he wants to. Do you want to respond to that previous question? I'm gonna put it back up there real quick. Based on your experience in the life insurance industry, this particular question, if you have any pre-existing condition, do you have to live a certain amount of time? And I know Brother Mike gave us a very good and direct explanation of that. Is there anything you can add to or confirm or?
Yes, I would like to add to that part, because myself having a pre-existing condition, it's more difficult to get larger sums of insurance. So when I can get it, I take it. So also when alignment with my divine complement, if you will, on my next one, if she has a full-time job that offers benefits, which normally comes with health insurance, life insurance, if our union becomes solidified by marriage, she's able to add me on there without any medical exam or any testing for that, I automatically qualify through her insurance. So
Okay.
they don't let us know that as well. I had another example, as our sister was stating. I found out my father, his policy was lapsed, and my mom had paid over $20,000 into the policy, which did gain cash value. And the good part about that policy was that when I called back in to get it reinstated, it was only $1,600 to make arrears to catch up, because they took that policy balance and paid off the policy premium that was due. So it would have lapsed a long time ago if it didn't have any cash value. Now that's a double-edged sword, because my dad is now 78. So it will be more difficult unless I find one of these nonprofit life insurance companies like you guys spoke of. Other than that, he would be basically uninsurable with a for-profit company. Now, we had another question in the chat where they asked, is there any limit or age limit? There's no age limit to have insurance on you. As far as making the ownership of a policy, you have to be of a contracting binding age, which is 18 years old. So you don't have to have ownership in the policy to have insurance on your body or on yourself. So you can insure the kids, and once they turn 18, they can graduate that or convert that to a different policy without being tested again for pre-existing conditions. So it may be something that runs in your family that you know of. That's why it's also good to talk about that stuff. Instead of hiding or sweeping under the rug what grandpa or what aunt. We need to know our family history as far as health as well as wealth.
Yes.
We noticed that when at our homegoing services, there's a lot more grief on our side of the fence as opposed to our Caucasian counterparts. Yeah, they grieve as well, but they know at the end of the day, maybe Uncle Rich or Uncle Paul left them something.
Right.
We don't have that experience in the Black community. When I first had someone leave me something, I was astounded. But had I learned about compound accounts, instead of spending that money, I would let that money compound and continue to build. So as my mom had the same policy, she wasn't in financial straits or need as I was when we got that. So her policy is still, that money is still sitting in that policy, gaining interest. Compound interest. So there's a lot of different ways and investment tools to be able to use and utilize what you said, like my brother Mike said, options. And when you explore those options, and each person's options and lifestyle is different, but it's all about getting it out on the table and speaking about it, educating the people about it, and informing our youth as well as our adults about it. That's why I was pushed into the life insurance realm, because people say you're an educator, a former educator, or you have you want to get the infuse, or you're focused on community. No pun intended. But, you should be a good person or a good advocate to make sure people get on the side of this side of the wealth column.
I say. So I think you said something so important. I can tell you that I have had multiple people in my family pass away over the years, close to me, one including my mother, and never have I had anything left to me. Never have I had, so there is still this cycle of generational wealth being denied those that come after us, and yes, there has been, I guess a little bit of life insurance with my mother, but other times we've had to raise money, or not really raise money, but the family had to pool together, come out of their pocket to pay for other family members, services and things like that. And the thing is like Brother Mike started out saying, nobody gets out of life alive. So it definitely should be something that you should be planning for. Our ancient Cometian ancestors, they lived life always, preparing for the best and grand death that they could have, because they didn't see it as death. To them, it was really no such thing as death. But we just talked about that transitional period to where it became a magnificent and magnanimous, what do we say that word, magnanimous event, the funerary preparations, from mummification to however you want to prepare, because we understand that there are other things on the other side of that, but even that preparation was still cost money, even in that time. A lot of that mummification was left for the affluent class of that society, the royalty, the people in politics and priests and so forth. But the less affluent, they did more just burying and cremation. I read in the ancient text that they actually did cremation back then. What I want to know, my personal question is, I know we talk a lot about the health, your health, age, and so forth can affect the premiums. Here's a scenario. 50-year-old man, never had life insurance, finally decides to get life insurance, right? 50 years old, never had no kind of pre-existing health, never been hospitalized, been healthy. So he's been practicing life assurance, and now it's time to get life insurance. So now what does his premium look like? Even though he's healthy, never had any kind of pre-existing, is his premium high at this age?
No, it's going to be higher than if he was 40,
Okay.
but it's still not high. Like I said, I mean, you can get $200,000 if you wanted term insurance, up to $200,000 for $50 to $100 a month. If it's permanent, I can run numbers for you. It's probably going to be $100,000 that you'll be able to get for $50 to $100 a month. But the thing that I love about life insurance is every individual have their own numbers. You know what I'm saying? So if you wanted me to run numbers for you, that's easy. It takes me 2 minutes.
Look, he already knew I was asking for me. I didn't even say that.
Right. I knew you was asking for you. I've been practicing life assurance. Now I need life insurance. I knew you was talking about
I'm
you.
taking that. I need that.
Okay. I have a question. On your term insurance, is there a limit to the years? Like what do you, is it tapped at 30?
30-year term is going to be most companies the highest, because you got to remember these companies are also businesses. So you won't be able to get a 30-year term policy if you're 60 years old. They're going to say you can get a 15-year term. You can maybe get that 20, But it, like, once you see it, you just realize that they're just actuaries. They're just running numbers. Okay. They're just running numbers, and we can show you those numbers for sure.
Someone has a question. Are there any reasons where a person would be considered uninsurable through a non-profit insurance company?
It's very rare. It's like maybe 1 or 2% of the time. Maybe they're super duper young. I mean, even then, there's something that's called an accidental death life insurance policy. Like, any life insurance is good, like people. Now, granted, do you want to start off with an accidental death life insurance policy if you can get something more? No, get something that's going to cover you. But do you realize that the number one cause of death for people under the age of 55 is accidental death? And the number 3 cause for people up to the age of 65 is accidental death. So it's important to have those things. I live in DC. You already know what it is around here. Like, it goes down sometimes. So having any type of insurance makes sense. And when you have that insurance policy, it doesn't matter how big or small it is, it's going to come with those programs that I mentioned, like the scholarships and the grant money. And literally there's a laundry list of programs. I mentioned maybe 3 or 4. There's like 10. It's crazy.
Excellent.
It is.
Mike, you talk about the the orphan benefits.
Oh,
I think that's included. It's in addition to.
listen, y'all know how we see grandparents permanently taking care of the kids. We see that a lot in the Black community.
Mm-hmm.
There's always a story there. We're just never really sure what it is.
Right.
But let's say mom and dad passed away. Okay, these fraternal benefit societies will pay $900 per month per child of child support. Per month per child of child support. Big mama probably just retired or about to retire. She ain't making more money, she making less money.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So that
Right.
extra $900 or $1,800 if you got 2 kids, or $4,500 if she got 5 kids, that's going to help put food on the table, clothes on their backs.
Yep.
You know, the kids can play sports. You know, might not make her rich, but the kids can do things. Then when they turn 18, they automatically get $24,000 for college.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Automatically get $24,000 for college. This live amongst us. This is stuff that like when I listen to these programs, they got a diabetes program where if you got diabetes, you get discounted medication sent in the mail. I'm like, this is built for Black people, but Black people don't know about it.
Uh-huh.
We got to change. We got to change that.
Now, Mike, you said something. This has only been around for the last 140 years.
That's it. Not that long.
Well, it's not that long, and we've been. The Emancipation Proclamation happened 157 years ago. So I mean, if we calculate the time, and plus we're just getting into the point to where we're being giving a little bit of inclusion into society, not a big amount, but this is because we, aside from life insurance and those kind, there are other business ventures. There's access to other funds and things like that also have been kept from us. In fact, the credit system and all that stuff was really created to keep, it's another form of redlining, keeping us from certain ones. And even in that credit system, the criteria is a little bit steeper and harder for Blacks than it is for other folks. Because here I'm almost at an 800 on my credit, and I still can't get approved for nothing. Makes no sense. Makes no sense at all, right? But the thing is that so when it comes to this kind of knowledge, and I just want to again commend all three of you for coming here today and bringing this information to us in our community, because this is definitely something we wouldn't have known just how important. So life insurance is not just a policy we pour into and then it just pays out when we die. There's so many more benefits, to get onto a policy, getting a life insurance policy. And again, didn't know that. I have a client who's a social media influencer. She's a millionaire now, but she talks about life insurance and also making sure that you put your make the beneficiary should be a trust that you set up, so, and that helps that guarantees that the money goes in a certain way and the family doesn't fight over the money. You know what I'm saying? So puts it into a trust. So she gives us all kind of tips and things like that. So I just really commend you, especially you young folks who really bring that to us. Seem like y'all are really stepping out into a time, because people in my time, we didn't grow up with this information. We didn't grow up with financial literacy. That wasn't a discussion in the household. We didn't talk about, credit. We had, by the time we were 18, got out of high school, we already had phone bills in our name that was unpaid. You see? So, but you guys are coming up with a whole different mindset, because those, we realized that those were some of the mistakes that were being made by our parents. And so every generation we get a little bit smarter, a little bit wiser, and to this system, because we're already born with infinite wisdom, first of all, so we know that, but it's just trying to learn this system that was never developed and situated for our benefit. And so for you to go back and reach in that bag and find something out and bring those jewels to us, I just can't say thank you enough.
Right.
Can't say
I
thank you
appreciate
enough for
you
that.
guys. I really appreciate you guys. One of the books, one of the really, really big books that got smaller books, it says train up a child in the way that they should go. And when they get older, they won't depart from it. Well, that is a gift and a curse because we train up our child financially in the way that they should go. And when they get older, they don't depart from it. So we don't buy insurance. We train up a child in the way that they should go in credit. So when they get older, they don't depart from it. You know, so it takes these small pieces and conversations to create a new mindset. Like in general, poverty in the Black community is less about money, it's more about mindset. So you hit the word right on the head. It's the mindset.
Yes.
But how do we change the mindset? It starts with a conversation.
Absolutely.
You know, it starts with a conversation. It starts with implementing something new information. So I'm thrilled to be here. You know, if there's anybody hearing this and you think that this brings value beyond this, let Sid know, Sinitra. You know, I'm going to give you her information. I'm going to give you my information. This is what we do. There's 40 million Black people in America. And our objective as a company is to make sure every single one of them knows exactly what to do and how this thing works. Every single one of them. That's what we're going to accomplish in the next 5 years. So y'all here today.
I say.
We're coming up on an hour and 31 minutes. We try to limit our podcast to an hour and a half. Sometimes it just gets good and we just keep going. This was a great show tonight, full of knowledge. I have truly feel like I've just been educated on life insurance. Oh my God, I need to call one of you all tomorrow. I don't know who I'm with because I bought it so long ago that it just automatically comes out of my checking account. But I need to switch up. And I don't think I was told about any type of benefits besides getting paid if I die.
I mean, because
that's it.
benefits outside of, you know, like people just don't know what they don't know. So, yeah, yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, this is God Level. Who am I speaking with?
Love Sean.
Hi, Love Sean.
How are you doing, everyone?
Hello, Love Sean.
Faithful viewers.
Yes, this is a very informative podcast tonight. I definitely wanted to listen to this because I actually, just over the pandemic, I picked up paying insurance for my daughter and my 3 grandsons. So I pay insurance for 6 people right now. So I'm probably, when I got the insurance, I probably wasn't as educated. So I definitely wanted to listen. But just like with the pandemic, I'm realizing that my oldest daughter didn't have any insurance, and then she did not have any on any of her children. Couple of things I went through. Well, my oldest daughter, she has a bad driving record. So I live in Illinois. So I'm not able to get insurance of her because of her driving record. They said she's more of a risk. So for her, I have what's called a final expense plan. So if something happens to her, I can still at least have a service, but I don't technically have insurance on her. My youngest grandson had bronchitis, so his insurance is actually a little higher than my oldest grandson. And then my middle grandson has ADHD, and his insurance is the highest out of the 3. So I pay almost $400. I pay their insurance for the year. Each one, to me, is easier since I'm paying all of them by myself. So plus, I pay 2 for myself, and I also pay 1 for my brother. So that's why I was asking a lot of questions because, you know, like I said, Black people, we don't have insurance. And I'm just not a fan of GoFundMe. I know some people might have to do it if they're not prepared, but just with the pandemic, I think that should have kind of opened our eyes for so many people, unfortunately, dying, not knowing that they was going to die. My questions had a lot to do with personal experience. So we talk about age. So my cousin, who passed at 18, had cancer. But she first was diagnosed at 14. When my cousin got insurance for her, they told her she had to live 5 years. 5 years before they would pay for it. She didn't make it 5 years. She made it like 4.5. So they paid that money to me. It basically nothing happened with it. They didn't honor the insurance. My other question was, if somebody's uninsurable, I have a brother that's incarcerated. He had a policy on his job. It automatically converted to where insurance I could pay for the month. So I paid it. But they told me if I let it lapse, he would be uninsurable. So I made sure that I paid it. So that was my question. Why I asked, if there's any reason why a person would be considered uninsurable, because that's what I was told regarding his state, where he's at right now. Like I said, this is just real informative. Like I said, we as Black people do need to have insurance. I'm pretty sure, I hope y'all put y'all information in on the page, because I probably will be calling to see if
I
can
did.
do something different, because I basically pay like $2,500 a year in insurance. That's not actually for myself, but I think it's worth it, because I'm single. Who wants to be trying to, like you said, come up with money to bury somebody? At least with some of my funds, I'm trying to leave something for my grandchildren. So I really appreciate the podcast. Like I said, very informative. And like you said, we have to put ourselves in different situations to get different information, because we're trying to think a certain way. All I knew was trying the whole life. Didn't know nothing else, and I'm 55 years old. So, like to know that it's other, like you said, more information, but generally that's what I've been told. You got to get some insurance. You're going to get whole life or term life. Nothing else has ever been explained until it's actually being something today. So
I'm thrilled to talk to you.
Y'all joining the podcast. I appreciate y'all information. That's why I tell the podcast, God Level, Brother Diamond, John Skywalker, and King Newborn, this platform is so important, because as I not just started listening, I'm getting a lot of information, because I'm changing my mindset of where I go to get my information. All right. So
thank you so much for that. All right.
Thank you. Real quick, I just want to tell you, listen.
Mike, I'm happy to give out my number. Go ahead.
Yep, I was going to say, if you guys want to contact us, please, I'm asking every single person that hears this, even on the recordings, contact us. We can make sure your policy is straight. Let me hold you down, please. If you want to contact us, call Sinitra, okay? Her phone number is 240-788-5053. Okay, 240-788-5053. I promise you, if you need to talk to me, you can talk to me, no problem. But this is her show, and we're going to do this thing the right way. Also, if you want to work with us part-time, if you need some extra money, if you know anybody who needs some extra money, call Sid. We out here making people make some extra money. I'm telling y'all, everybody can use it. So I appreciate the platform. I want to respect y'all's time. Call Sid, 240-788-5053.
Oh my God. Closing statements, anyone? King Newborn.
Thank you all again for this platform. Thank you all so much. Mike Lee, you are a rock star. Let me tell you all something. This opportunity has been so life affirming because of the people that are in it. The support, the knowledge, you can tell the knowledge of Mike and Chad and the 5-star team and those that we work with, and the love and care that they give to us is absolutely phenomenal. So I want to take this time to extend gratitude to everyone on the show, and then to Mike, bless you, thank you, and to everyone. Yes. Mwah, 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 mwah. Good night.
Told you her energy is good. Jason, you didn't say a lot, but you had a lot to say when you did say it.
Unmute yourself, beloved.
Once I got on, I had a difficulty on my computer over here, so you see I popped off. But when I popped back on, Mike was already on the level that I was going to be on, and coming from our youth, I didn't want to be redundant. I just want to add pieces that, in addition to. It was very helpful being on this podcast, the first podcast I've been on. I've been requested by different people, but I knew when I got requested by Brother Diamond that the quality of people would be on here, and it didn't let me down not one bit.
Well, thank you for
I
that.
will be working with Sid and Mike later on to explore some of those nonprofit organizations and also spread the word out here in California. So, like I said, I'm
Absolutely.
licensed, and I use the other companies that I'm licensed with. We get licensed in different states, so we utilize both products. Also, like to say thank you to Dr. J for having her bringing her information to the platform, because that's a definite need for our community at all times, and it goes hand in hand. So thank you guys for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you for coming. Thank you to Dr. J. Herbalist.
Thank you for having me. And, we talked a lot about life insurance, and I'm talking about assurance. Let's
They both
get
go hand in
healthy.
hand.
No excuses. Let's get healthy. It's
I
our
say.
responsibility, nobody else's.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
John, thoughts?
I'm just honored to be amongst all of you. Thank you all for just bringing this energy and co-creating this experience. I'm just emotionally, I'm overflowing with pride. Thank you all for being here.
Absolutely.
You all
I
are
say.
great.
I say.
Saba?
Well, I am I'm sitting here in awe. First at my panel, my fellow panelists, this is something that we talked about and we planned almost less, in what, a week, and was able to pull together
Pull it together.
some brilliant people
Yeah.
to make this show as phenomenal as it is tonight. And so first of all, hats off to you, and just saying that this is why I love y'all, and I'm happy to be among this panel. But also the treat for me was getting to know that such people exist, from Sidnitra to Mike. And I've always known about Dr. Sims, Dr. J. I keep saying Dr. Sims in my head. I'm gonna say Dr. J. I'm gonna practice that. Dr. J. and also Brother Nine. I've always known how, because I've been in contact with them for a few years now in my community. So we know how each other operate, and they come from a very powerful community, a community of activists. You're talking about Black Panthers. You're talking about people getting it done. We're all a part of that community, and just to be here, and anytime I call out and ask Dr. J to do anything, and she does it. I mean, it just blows me away, because that's the level that she's on. Y'all have to understand, that's the level that she's on, and just some people we know. Yes.
We gonna meet her.
Absolutely.
She gonna come have dinner with us.
Yeah.
When we fly in. I'm sorry, where are you? You said you were in Washington, D.C., Mike.
I am.
Sidnitra, did I say it right?
Sidnitra?
That was perfect.
Was it?
Yes. Perfect. I am in District Heights, Maryland, which is maybe 10 minutes from DC. So I claim the whole DMV. But my roots, hold on though. But let's get the connection together. My roots are Georgia. I'm a Georgia peach, which is how I know John. And Mike, let me tell you something. John, that's the brother to watch out for. You're gonna get him because he's on it.
No doubt.
Yes.
No doubt.
Yes, he is. He was the first person I tapped for this, and he was like, "Yep, I'll do it." And here we are. He was the first person I tapped. I was like, "You gonna do this show with me?" He was like, "Yeah, I'll do this show with you." John's a supporter. He is.
That's right.
Yeah. I want to thank
you.
each and every last one of you for coming on this evening. You brought a lot of jewels. I know everyone that watched this show tonight that will either listen to it tomorrow is going to walk away more knowledgeable than they did before listening to it, especially about life insurance. There's a lot of myths out there concerning life insurance. And guess what? It is okay to have life insurance. It really is. And just the fact that you broke down that certain people in history got their wealth from life insurance, it should not be looked at as a bad thing. You should want your family to be taken care of in the event that you are no longer here. The way that you talked about it, the way that you answered every question, the fact that you can go in and build it with the mortgage. I think it was income, something about income.
Income replacement.
Income replacement. I don't think whoever I'm with even discussed that with me. I just know I'm paying $40 a month, and I'm probably can get more life insurance with you all than who I'm currently with, and it just automatically comes out. So I want to thank each and every last one of you for coming on this evening. You too, Dr. J, the herbalist. We really
Thank you for
appreciate it.
having me. It's been an honor to share this sacred space with you, man.
I say.
Honey, the
That's
divine
peace.
is
That's
all over
peace.
this.
That's
Newborn,
peace.
you
That's
have
peace.
anything you want to say?
I want to say first and foremost, Ashe, Ashe, Ashe. Peace, peace, peace. Today is the 29th. That is 2 and 9, which is wisdom born. If you add that together, you get 11, which is knowledge, knowledge. You add that together, you get wisdom, which brings us to all the gems that have been dropped tonight. I want to thank each one of our guests, especially our special guests. Everything that we're talking about right now is the beginning of life, what goes on in life up until the time of our expiration. But life does carry on after death. And we have to understand that. A lot of us don't even I'm not going to say don't understand. A lot of us don't take in consideration that we leave people behind. We also leave debt behind. We have to consider the loved ones that just in case this $50,000 car I just bought is either going back to the bank or I'm finna let my family inquire debt that I left behind because of my lifestyle. Tonight, we touched so many different points that are things that people don't want to talk about. Again, I want to say thank you, God Level, my sister, for bringing me aboard and having John be the equalizer to bring about balance between me and my sister for the podcast.
Yes.
So that we can cultivate to the point that Saba Da'aman took time out to take a look-see. Hey, what's going on over here? And he became a part of the family. And because of that, we're almost pushing 2 years now.
Yeah.
It is an honor. It is a blessing. It is a pleasure to not only be of service, but to continue to meet beautiful people, like-minded people in our culture and see that they are of service as well. It's just overwhelming, and I'm just proud to be a part of history.
I say.
I say. Well, John,
Unmute yourself.
Mic check.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Huh. So I said, no such thing as death. I am eternal soul. I am love. I am loving. I am lovable. I am a lover of life. I am a lover for life. I am the love of my life that I've been searching for. Through the tough times, I am optimistic. I am often gifted with the opportunity for self-fulfillment. Competition is the illusion. So I am never winning, never losing. I am supreme being as a human. I am intuitive. I am in tune with higher vibrations in the form of higher music. I am awakening to a lucid dream called my reality. I am creating it. I am amazing, and I am the greatest in the greatest sense. I am in a long distance relationship with the drama, and with each breath, I am healed from my trauma. I am inward looking. I am the inward. Yeah. Never ending, infinite, independent, indicative of a mind that's inquisitive. I am inventive. I am incentive seeking. My intent lives within.
Come on now.
It's not hopeless, but it's intense. I am lit like an incense. I am interesting. I am insightful. I am laughing out loud at an inside joke. I am Black Boy Joy. I am an influential, like a hip hop beat. I am instrumental. Chest out, but I am invested in my health. I am spiritually free, but I am indebted to God. Life is a school, and so I am an intern. Like the spirit of your thoughts, I am in words. So many in words that I am, but not nigger. Salute.
Salute.
Hey, that's fire.
Salute. Salute.
Hey.
Salute. Salute. All
That
right,
that was a perfect ending.
I say.
Perfect ending. Thank you all again for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it. John, you got us.
God bless you all.